energy. As, however, there are four kinds of metaphors, those are most approved which subsist according to analogy ; as when Pericles said, That youth perishing in battle was taken away from the city, just as if some one should take away the spring from the year. And as Leptines said of the Lacedaemonians, That the Athenians should not suffer Greece to be deprived of its other eye. Thus too Cephisodotus, when Chares was anxious to give an account of the Olynthiac war, said indignantly, That while he endeavoured to give the people an account of his conduct, he kept them in a furnace. And the same person, once exhorting the Athenians to forage in Euboea, said, It was necessary that the decree of Miltiades should proceed to the Euboeic expedition. And Iphicrates, when the Athenians had made a league with Epidaurus and the sea coast, said indignantly, That they had deprived themselves of the viatica of war. And Pithyllus called the Athenian ship which was denominated Perillus, the club (Robalon) of the people. He also called Cestus the granary of the Piraeum. Pericles likewise exhorted the Athenians to destroy Aegina, as the ophthalmi of the Piraeum. And Mericles, naming a certain worthy person, said, That he was in no respect more depraved than this person ; for with respect to him he had taken 3 per cent interest, but that he himself had taken 10 per cent. And the iambic of Anaxandrides upon his daughters that were a long time before they married, The virgins have passed beyond the appointed day of wedlock. To these may be added what Polyeuctus said on one Speusippus, who was a restless man and apoplectic, That he could not be quiet, though he was bound by fortune in the Pentasurigian disease. Cephisodotus likewise called 3-banked galleys various baking houses. But the dog, i.e. Diogenes, called taverns the Attic Vidicia. And Aetion said, That the Athenians had poured forth their city into Sicily. For this is a metaphor, and places the thing before the eyes. Aetion adds, That the Athenians had so poured forth their city into Sicily, that Greece vociferated. For this also is after a manner a metaphor, and places the thing before the eyes. Cephisodotus also exhorted the Athenians to beware, That they did not make their assemblies hostile congresses. And Isocrates said, That the sophists addressed themselves to those who run together in the public assemblies. And as in the funeral oration of Lysias, It was but just that Greece should cut off her hair on the tomb of those who died at Salamis, because her liberty was buried with their virtue. For if he had said, That it was but just Greece should weep in consequence of virtue being buried with those who died at Salamis, it would have been only a metaphor, and the thing would have been placed before the eyes. But the words, Liberty was buried with virtue, have a certain antithesis. And as Iphicrates said, The path of my oration is through the midst of the transactions of Chares. For this is a metaphor according to analogy, and the words, Through the midst, place the thing before our eyes. And to say, To call on dangers to give assistance to dangers, is to place the thing before the eyes, and is a metaphor. Another instance is that of Lycolian in defence of Chabrias, Neither will you revere his suppliant brazen statue. For this is a metaphor in the present time, but not always, and places the thing before the eyes. For he being in danger, the statue supplicates for him, and supplication is attributed to an inanimate statue, which is the property of an animated thing. And a monument of the works of the city," and they meditated by every possible way to have grovelling conceptions." For to meditate is to increase something. And again, that God enkindled the light of intellect in the soul." For both light and intellect accord in illuminating. And for we do not dissolve war, but defer it." For both deferring and a peace of this kind signify something future. And to say, that the compacts of peace are a trophy much more beautiful than those which are procured in war ; for the latter are obtained for things of small consequence, and through one fortune, but the former for every battle." For both a trophy and a compact are indications of victory, and that cities through the censure of men suffer great punishment," for punishment is a certain just injury. And thus we have shown how polite diction may be derived from metaphor according to the analogous, and from placing a thing before the eyes. CHAPTER XI. Book 3. Recording in memory of Mitchell, Edwards.